What is a cherub? The cherubim in the Bible. A cherub, or known in the plural form as cherubim, is symbolical angelic figure repeatedly mentioned in the Bible. Cherubim are described as serving the will of God, performing divine duties in the earthly realm. A cherub, or known in the plural form as cherubim, is a symbolical angelic figure repeatedly mentioned in the Bible. Cherubim are described as serving the will of God, performing divine duties in the earthly realm. Their initial responsibility was protecting the Garden of Eden as referenced in the Book of Genesis. Discover further scripture references to the cherub and their relation to other angelic beings including Lucifer before his fall. Cherubim in the Bible. According to Easton's Bible Dictionary, the cherub, or cherubim, are first mentioned in connection with the removal of our first parents from Eden, Genesis chapter 3 verse 24. After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. There is no implication given of their shape or form. They are next discussed when Moses was commanded to provide furniture for the tabernacle, Exodus chapter 25 verses 17 to 20, 26 to 1, 31. Make an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. And make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Make 1 cherub on one end and the second cherub on the other. Make the cherubim of one piece with the cover, at the 2 ends. The cherubim are to have their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking toward the cover. Cherubim are to have their wings spread upward. Make a curtain of blue, purple and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. God promised to commune with Moses from between the cherubim, Exodus chapter 25 verse 22. There, above the cover between the 2 cherubim that are over the Ark of the Covenant law, I will meet with you and give you all my commands for the Israelites. This expression was afterward used to denote the divine abode and presence, Numbers chapter 7 verse 89, 1 Samuel chapter 4 verse 4, Isaiah chapter 37 verse 16, Psalm chapter 80 verse 1, 99 to 1. When Moses entered the tent of meeting to speak with the Lord, he heard the voice speaking to him from between the 2 cherubim above the atonement cover on the Ark of the Covenant law. In this way the Lord spoke to him. So the people sent men to Shiloh, and they brought back the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim. And Eli's 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the Ark of the Covenant of God. Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, enthroned between the cherubim, you alone are God over all the kingdoms of the earth. You have made heaven and earth. Hear us, shepherd of Israel, you who lead Joseph like a flock. You who sit enthroned between the cherubim, shine forth. The Lord reigns, let the nations tremble, he sits enthroned between the cherubim, let the earth shake. In Ezekiel's vision, Ezekiel chapter 10 verses 1 to 20, they appear as living creatures supporting the throne of God. From Ezekiel's description of them, Ezekiel chapter 1, 41 to 18, 19, they appear to have been compound figures, unlike any real object in nature, artificial images possessing the features and properties of several animals. Were carved cherubim and palm trees. Palm trees alternated with cherubim. Each cherub had 2 faces. The face of a human being toward the palm tree on one side and the face of a lion toward the palm tree on the other. They were carved all around the whole temple. 2 cherubim were placed on the mercy seat of the ark, 2 of colossal size overshadowed it in Solomon's temple. Ezekiel chapter 1 verses 4 to 14 speaks of 4, and this number of living creatures is mentioned in Revelation chapter 4 verse 6. Also in front of the throne there was what looked like a sea of glass, clear as crystal. In the center, around the throne, were 4 living creatures, and they were covered with eyes, in front and in back. Those on the ark are called the cherubim of glory, Hebrews chapter 9 verse 5. Of the Shekinah, or cloud of glory, for on them the visible glory of God rested. Above the ark were the cherubim of the glory, overshadowing the atonement cover. They were placed one at each end of the mercy seat, with wings stretched upward, and their faces toward each other and toward the mercy seat. They were anointed with holy oil, like the ark itself and the other sacred furniture. The cherubim were symbolical. They were intended to represent spiritual existence in immediate contact with Jehovah. Some have regarded them as symbolical of the chief ruling power by which God carries on his operations in providence. Psalm chapter 18 verse 10. He mounted the cherubim and flew, he soared on the wings of the wind. Others interpret them as having reference to the redemption of men, and as symbolizing the great rulers or ministers of the church. Many other opinions have been held regarding them which need not be referred to here. On the whole, it seems to be most satisfactory to regard the interpretation of the symbol to be variable, as is the symbol itself. Cherub and Seraphim. The key distinction between the heavenly beings known as cherubim and seraphim is their form. Cherubim have 4 faces and 4 wings, while seraphim have 6 wings. In the Bible, both the cherubims and seraphim's central purpose is to sit at the throne and serve God. Cherubim appear in several books of the Bible, including Genesis, Ezekiel, Kings, and Revelation. Their 4 faces are ox, lion, man, and eagle, although Ezekiel replaces the ox for the face of a cherub. They move quickly, using a wheel within a wheel, and their wings cover their body. Seraphim only appear in the book of Isaiah. Their name means, burning ones, flying serpents. Their name means, burning ones, flying serpents. Seraphim use 2 of their wings for flight. Like the cherubim, they are among the highest order of angelic beings. Important cherubim from Scripture. Here are angelic figures from the Bible that are mentioned as being cherubim. Archangel Gabriel. Lucifer, before his fall from grace. Archangel Raphael. Rikbiel. Sakiel, Zophiel.